Hi, welcome to Bookalina. How are you doing? I hope you are well. So the lighting is not very good in this video. I am filming at night. I was going to film this video earlier today, but there were a number of distractions. Number one being a bird that was squawking all day outside my house. No matter where you were in my house, you could hear this bird all day. So while this bird is elsewhere taking a rest, presumably from squawking all day, I thought I would bang out this video. Anyway, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the sexiest books that I've ever read. First on my list is The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty by Anne Rice. It's about a sex slave named Beauty. I read this book after I read her vampire trilogy. So I read Interview, The Vampire Lestat, and The Queen of the Damned, which I loved. I loved all three of those books. And I read Claiming, and I did like it. Although I do find her vampire books to be pretty erotic as well. Maybe not like overtly sexual, but Anne Rice is a great writer. Her prose is very luscious. So I would definitely recommend checking this out, whether you have read anything by Anne Rice or not. But if I were to tell you to start with something, I would tell you to start with the vampire books. Next up is a book called The Paying Guests by Sarah Waters. It was released in 2014. So the book takes place in 1922 in London, and it's about a young woman named Frances and her mother who are broke. They need money, so they start taking in lodgers into their house, and they take in a young couple, Lillian and Leonard Barber. Soon after, Frances and Lillian start becoming very close. The book is excellent. It is a page-turner. Sarah Waters is an excellent writer. Her writing is very silky, it's very lush, it's very sensual. The book never veers into vulgar territory, but it is a very sexy, sensual book. It's a great story, it's very tense, and if you have not read it, I very highly recommend it. Next on my list is the Secret Trilogy. So it's Secret, Secret Shared, and Secret Revealed. It was written by Lisa Gabrielle, who was writing under a pen name of L. Marie Adelin. So this book is about a young woman named Cassie. She's a waitress in New Orleans, and she discovers an underground society that centers around fulfilling women's desires. I read the first book, and I think some of the second book on a plane. And then I read all three books in very quick succession. They are so good. There's a lot of sex in the books, but they're so well written. They're kind of, I think, what 50 Shades of Grey like wanted to be. So if you read 50 Shades and you were like, man, if only these books were better written, read the Secret Trilogy. And if you don't care for romances, but you're kind of looking for something a little on the spicy side, I recommend the Secret Trilogy. And last on my list is Carmela, written by Sheridan Le Fanu. It was written in 1872. It predates Dracula by 26 years. How about that? So the book takes place in Austria. It's about a young woman named Laura who has an encounter when she's very young with a strange being who comes into her bedroom. And many years later, she meets a woman named Carmela, who is in fact a vampire. This is an erotic vampire novel, and the fact that it was written when it was written kind of blows me away. It is just way ahead of its time and incredibly erotic and sensual. I read Dracula first, actually, and I do really like that book. It's an excellent book. It's a beautifully written book. but I like Carmela better. I don't know, it's not as scary, but it's sexier. Yeah, so Sheridan Le Fanu is a man. His full name is Joseph Thomas Sheridan Le Fanu. He's an Irish writer. And if I did not research that and I just read the book, I would have thought that it was written by a woman, actually. Yeah, so Carmela it's short. It's actually, I guess you would qualify it, it's a novella. It's just over 100 pages long, so it's pretty concise. And like I said, it is very sensual. I mean, lesbian, it's a lesbian vampire story. Can't go wrong. It's kind of a trite way to describe it, I guess, but I don't really know how else to describe it. But if you've never read it, definitely find it, check it out. It's great. It's really great, and it's a very sexy book. So that is my list. Let me know if you have read any of these and what you thought of them. Yeah, I don't really read a lot of romances. I don't really read a lot of like sex heavy books. For me personally, I don't mind if there's a lot of those kinds of scenes, so long as the character development is there and the writing is good and the story is good. You sort of have to have everything kind of fleshed out, pun intended. If you're going to throw a lot of those scenes in there. If it's just like scene after scene after scene of just that, a la 50 Shades, where it's like no character development, terrible writing, terrible dialogue, it just doesn't work for me. Anyway, thanks for being here. Please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. I will see you next week. Have a great night, have a great day, have a great weekend, have a great everything, and I will see you soon.